Welcome back to the Diversity Project. I am your host, Rhonda Kulch, and today we are talking about what people are doing this holiday season to give back, to create, not just awareness, but comfort for those people that are in need. And so we are bringing back a guest that we previously had on the show, Rena Sylverster, and she is talking about what she does to help out our veteran community, especially during the holiday season. So thank you so much. I know you've been a guest on the show before, and when we're talking about doing things about giving back and giving a piece of yourself, I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity for you to tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the veterans for our upcoming Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Before I started cooking for Long Island veterans, I used to actually take it kind of easy around the holidays, and I'm a little sarcastic. My joke was that Thanksgiving is time for the amateurs because everybody wants to work at a soup kitchen. I'm like, what about July when nobody wants to work at a soup kitchen? This is going to be my first year actually being the founder of the Cooking for Long Island Veterans, and I'm hopeful that we'll have a lot of new volunteers coming to help us. We don't have plans firm for what we're going to do for Thanksgiving. I have some volunteers, Tracy over in Three Village area. I know they're giving free turkeys some places to the veterans. The problem that I have with the veterans I'm dealing with is mostly they are unable to cook. As one of my favorite veterans said, Paul, he's like, I could make a salad, but then I would have to make a salad. I'd have to stand there, I'd have to chop things. So it's not necessarily as easy as, you and I in our middle ages.
Yeah.
We stand at the sink and we cook. We ask our kids to help us. There are people that have a hard time standing. There are people that have a hard time shopping. So whether they're financially needy or physically needy, we're going to work with each veteran and see what they want to do for the holidays. We're not going to be telling them. We're going to reach out to them and ask them, what can we do for you?
Which I love. And I know, and I want to say one of the challenges that I know that you're facing as an up and coming and growing organization is I don't want to say the lack of drivers, but I'm stumbling on my words.
I'm pleading.
The challenge is that you are, basically this Montauk to Manhattan. And when you're looking at this ginormous demographic, when you think about feeding Long Island veterans, you say to yourself, okay, so how hard could it be, to take a ride here? And, this isn't some random drop off. This is a commitment. So one of the challenges I know that when you and I speak, or I could see through your social media platforms, is help. I need a driver that could go to, Valley Stream today and another one who can go out to Bellport tomorrow. So do you think that during the holiday season, you're going to have more people volunteering? And do you think you're going to have more families that are asking for assistance?
Unfortunately, I'm a little bit afraid about the driver situation because with the weather not being as nice, it was one thing for people to take a ride out to East Moriches or Santa Moriches in the summer. They'd stop in Mattatuck, have lunch or whatever. It's not as, appealing to go take a ride in December out to East Moriches. So I am hopeful that people can help me in a number of ways. They can commit to driving once a month, people. That would help me so much. There's 1,400 in our group. If everybody helped me once a month or even once a year, that would be a big help. Another thing is that if somebody wants to give a gas card, that would make a difference to certain volunteers. That if I fill up their tank, they're more willing to. And
we've spoken about that before, because there are times where I have something that I want to get to you.
Or same with me.
Right. And, it's great. But, if I'm busy and you're busy, our intentions are good, but our ability to make it happen in a timely manner. And that's really what it is. These are, perishable items that if I'm cooking, I don't have the luxury of waiting a week to see you. If I decide I'm cooking for you, I have a matter of hours or a day because these items are perishable.
And also the people are waiting for their meals. I mean, we can go a day here and there. A lot of times we'll send the veteran with some cereal and some shelf-stable foods. But our promise, our commitment is to give them half a week's, 3 days worth of meals cooked. So if I just decide to go on vacation, if nobody can help me, that's a problem. We have to, if any volunteers have an idea, we have to have a solution for snowstorms. We're thinking of sending each veteran with a box, 3 cans of soup, or something in the freezer, hard cheese, blah, blah, blah. So we have a lot of problems that we have to solve, and the more, heads solving it, I'd like some ideas.
What about for the winter? I mean, I'm sure that you must have potentially have thought about, if you can't get to a specific geographic location, but you do have somebody who says, look, you know what? I have no problem calling in a pizza.
Right.
And because that there are a certain amount of places that deliver, whether it be, even if you put yourself in Uber Eats and Grubhub and DoorDash, and if you get monetary donations, have you thought about that at all?
Jeanette Collins, she is actually one of my moms from the East Islip district, and she gave, I think it was a couple of Grubhub gift cards a while ago, and it was so helpful because I was actually in Florida sick on vacation. I was supposed to be on vacation. I was sick, and whatever I was doing, I was just out for the count, and I was able to go onto Grubhub from Florida and send him, eggplant parmesan and ravioli, whatever. And we had the new guy that had just called me that I had not set up. I was able to send him some meals. So shout out to Jeanette Collins. People really are creative in the ways they can contribute. I had another woman, Pamela, and she said, you know what, for this week I had Lyme disease. I'm going to take care of the 9 meals for 3 of the guys around my area. And she delivered 9 meals to Bayshore, to Brightwaters, and to Islip. I didn't have to get a driver. I didn't have to pack up their meals. It was really helpful.
Do the meals, so what you're saying then is the meals don't necessarily have to be prepped at your facility?
Correct.
So in other words, if I'm just understanding this correctly, if we have a listener that might be in Riverhead because you're geographically located in Stony Brook, they could take their meals, contact you and say, Rena, I live in Riverhead. If you give me a few people within my vicinity, I will cook and deliver on behalf of your organization. So they don't necessarily need to be prepared or approved by first bringing it to Stony Brook.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen a delivery. I think you might have even made a delivery too. So the ultimate box has 3 to 4 breakfast, 3 to 4 lunch, 3 to 4 dinners. To me, that's a burden to ask somebody else to do that. Mm-hmm. But if they say, well, I'm just going to give them an extra, 2 dinners, that's fine too. It can give us a day or 2 of leeway where we don't have to deliver on Wednesday. We could deliver Thursday or Friday. And, anybody that wants to help, there's so many different ways. Like you said, if they wanted, they had a big tray of pulled pork and they wanted to deliver a couple extra sandwiches to the guys in that area, great. We have a guy over in Manorville, Mike Gary, and he'll just drop it off at the guy's house as he's bringing to me the rest of it. So he's super duper helpful.
Now, as far as the overall mission, I know that as an organization, you are new and you are growing. How do people get involved with you?
We have a printout that I will gladly email anybody. And I think it says you can cook, you can donate, you can drive, or you can purchase. You can cook anything you want. You can donate any of this. Fresh produce is very high on our list. We like to give the guys fruit, and we don't get that much high quality fresh produce. We are working, I want to give a plug if I'm allowed to.
Sure,
Agori Food Service has been wonderful. They're in West Babylon, and once a week they were also, I don't know if I have this correct, but I think they only served restaurants up until recently. Then with the pandemic, when restaurants were so reduced in their capacity, they started doing residentials. So once a week they sent me. Last week we got a case of beets, we got a case of broccoli, we got a case of potatoes, and I take that and I give it to the people that like to cook, and then we get, roasted beets, and we get pasta primavera, and we get all kinds of great things. We are so open to anything. We love to have new ideas. we're constantly changing. When we first started out, everybody got maybe 4 meals, twice, 2 or 3 times a week. Now everybody's getting a box of 9 meals minimum once a week because, again, the drivers. So if you're not a cook, you can still help us. If you would like to make a financial donation, whether it be a gas card, whether it be buying something for as far as containers, whether it be contributing to some of the costs we have with the renovation or our insurance, we will gladly work with you and give you the recognition you deserve.
I love it. Thank you so much. I am so glad that you were available to come back on. Again, we're talking about giving back to our communities during the holiday season, and it's so important to make sure that we check on our elderly, we check on people that we know may have compromised immune systems, because this is that time of year where we really need to be good neighbors, and being a good neighbor sometimes is about being a good volunteer. Hence, maybe that somebody wants to reach out to you. But, again, anybody has information or they would like to share some information, go directly onto our website, thediversityprojectli.com, and we will make sure that we take your message and get it to the appropriate people. Stay tuned for our next guest.
The views and opinions expressed